All right, so 2022 Spirited is directed by Sean Anders, written by Sean Anders and John Morris, and it is an Apple TV Plus original film, which stars Will Ferrell as the ghost of Christmas Present and Ryan Reynolds as Clint Briggs. Also in the cast, we have Octavia Spencer as Kimberly. Who else do we have in here? Patrick Page as Marley. We have Sunita Mani, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, as the ghost of Christmas Past, and then Tracy Morgan as the voice of Christmas Yet to Come. So yes, if you can't tell, this is a modern take slash adaptation on the classic Charles Dickens story, A Christmas Carol. It's been adapted into so many different movies, TV shows, books, all sorts of different things, and this is kind of a fresh take on it. They have a musical element to it, which I don't know if many adaptations of this story have a musical element to it. It's been a while since I've watched an adaptation of A Christmas Carol. Um, but yeah, by the way, it's really windy outside. In fact, I wanted to address that. I didn't go to the movies today because it's snowmageddon outside. I wanted to. There's two movies out right now that I want to watch. Honestly, there's a few that I need to catch up on, such as Till, Armageddon Time. What was the other one? Amsterdam. And then new ones like The Menu and She Said that I wanted to go see. Not sure if I'm going to have the time to go watch those, but there's plenty of movies and TV shows coming to streaming that I will have to cover on the channel. But yeah, let's just get into this review for Spirited. Yeah, overall, not a bad movie. I do love Christmas movies. There's a lot of Christmas movies that I really do like. And I don't think it's too early to start watching Christmas movies, honestly. I'm already listening to Christmas music, even though it's not necessarily what I want to be listening to. That's just kind of what you're stuck listening to around this time of year. And is this going to be a Christmas classic? Absolutely not. Not in my opinion, at least. This is not a movie I'm going to be revisiting every single year. Most Christmas movies that have come out over the past handful of years are not movies I'd consider rewatching year to year. But yeah, with this one, there's a lot of fun to be had, but I also think there's so many different movies in this one movie going on at the same time. Even in interviews, they described it like this is a Christmas movie, this is a romantic movie, this is a comedy movie, this is a musical. It's so many different things, and at times it doesn't necessarily know what it wants to be. There's more serious elements that should have been taken a little bit more seriously and had a little more time spent on it, but instead they cut away for the sake of a joke or just to keep the pace going. And I kind of understand that at times, but at the same time, the more serious elements of these types of movies are what I appreciate. And especially in comedic movies like this, and I mean, even lately when it comes to Marvel and stuff like that, people have been complaining about that a lot, where it seems like Marvel movies in particular, like Thor Love and Thunder, just can't seem to take anything seriously. And I think that's kind of, I don't think that's completely aimed just at Marvel. I mean, I feel like people probably feel that way about a lot of movies right now, where they just feel like it can't be taken seriously. And I don't know, for me personally, in comedy movies, I often seek genuine moments. And maybe that's not something that you should have in a comedy movie all the time. And there's movies that don't necessarily have genuine moments that are considered comedy movies that I quite like Step Brothers. I think that movie's hilarious. And there's not really any genuine moments in that movie. Let's be honest. I mean, the whole "oh, are we friends now?" That's not really genuine. In this, we have genuine moments when it comes to Ryan Reynolds' character Clint, when it comes to his sister who passed away from cancer. Um, that's one of the emotional elements in this movie. In fact, I would say that's the main emotional element in this movie when it comes to his character, at least. And then you have the Ghost of Christmas Present, played by Will Ferrell, who also has his own arc in this movie. And part of me kind of feels like it should have just been Ryan Reynolds' character that had the arc. But I do like the twist that they're giving the ghost, one of the ghosts of Christmas, basically their own arc in the story. whereas in the other adaptations, it's all about whoever they're haunting. Whereas in this, it's almost more about Will Ferrell than it is about Ryan Reynolds, which is kind of cool. And it's a little twist on a modern classic, or modern classic, a little twist, a modern twist on a classic. That's what I meant to say. Um, but yeah, there's some elements of comedy in here that really do work. Oh shoot, I'm trying to remember a specific moment in there where it was just one character that just kept cracking me up. Oh my god. I think it's Owen. Yeah, Joe Tippett as Owen, which I believe is the brother to Clint in the movie. That character, every time he was on screen, like maybe not every time, but like there were a few moments in there where his character just, I could not stop laughing at the shit he was doing. He was cracking me up. Um, but yeah, you have this whole plot in here of Clint is this big CEO guy, and he's an asshole, and he's, trying to dig up dirt on this one kid who's running against his niece for school president, and he's just all around kind of an awful guy. Um, but yeah, obviously that sets up the whole thing of, hey, we need to go teach this guy a lesson and make him try to change. Um, and the whole way it works with these ghosts, it's quite interesting. It's almost like a boss baby situation. That's the only way I can think about it, is where you have this big corporation where they're built on, trying to change people and change the world for the better. And that's pretty cool. Also kind of reminded me at times when they were actually in their own area where they actually worked. Like, you know what I mean? Their actual workshop. It's not a workshop, but their office, I guess you could say. It doesn't look like your typical office, but that stuff kind of reminded me, and it's not just because I watched it recently, but of the Santa Claus franchise. Just elements of that kind of reminded me, and then you have all these different figures like the Ghost of Christmas Past and whatnot. A lot of that heavily reminded me of like, oh, it feels like I'm seeing like Tooth Fairy and Father Time and whatnot in that franchise, which if you haven't seen that franchise, you're probably really confused right now. But hey, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had in this movie with the comedy and some of the musical elements. A lot of the musical elements don't really work for me, and they make jokes about like, oh my god, another song, but then they go into another song, and I'm just like, no. And I'm a fan of musicals myself. La La Land is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love Hamilton. I love In the Heights. There's a lot of musicals I do love, but a lot of those musicals have really, really thought provoking, maybe not thought provoking, but like just like really deep lyrics and stuff like that that really hit you. And a lot of the musical elements in this movie, a lot of the not musical elements, but you know what I mean, like musical sequences, I guess you could say. A lot of the time, I was just my eyes were glazed over. I was just like not into it at all. I was bored during the musical sequences and during the songs. But there is one song in particular that Octavia Spencer sang in the movie, which I can't name the song because I didn't look up the soundtrack or anything. But it was towards the beginning of the movie, first song that she gets. That song in particular, I thought was probably the best in the whole movie. But for the most part, most of the music just didn't really hit for me. There was one song called "Good Afternoon," that was really fun. That one was really fun. I like that one too. So there's a couple in there that really hit, but all the rest of them, and there's a lot, just fall flat for me. But yeah, this is the second movie I believe from Will Ferrell, or at least starring Will Ferrell. As far as I know, I didn't look at his IMDb before recording this, but I'm pretty sure, along with Elf, he was also along with this movie as well. It makes two Christmas movies that he's in. If I'm wrong, correct me down in the comments below. But they even had a little moment in here where they kind of had a little Elf Easter egg, so I very much appreciated that as an Elf fan myself. It's one of my top 3 favorite Christmas movies for sure, and it was cool to see Will Ferrell in another Christmas movie. As far as Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, of course they're great together on screen. They have great chemistry. They make this movie. And at first, it started a little slow. They didn't like meet each other at first. Probably get to Ryan Reynolds about, excuse me, just under 10 minutes in, maybe just under 15, I don't know. As soon as Ryan Reynolds comes into the picture, he plays Ryan Reynolds in every other movie, but there's a reason why he does that, because it really works most of the time, and he's going to keep doing that until it doesn't work. And I feel like in this movie, for the most part, it really does continue to work for me. Whereas in Free Guy, there's elements of it where I'm just like, you're kind of just too much Deadpool right now. There are moments in here where they have more serious elements with his character that I really appreciate, like I said before, with his sister and whatnot. But they just don't quite go far enough with it. But yeah, let me see here. Some of the jokes aren't landing. I already kind of said that. I like musicals, but so far I don't really care for it in here. Yeah, I already said that. Let me see. The thing that's very apparent is that Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds are having a lot of fun, and that's for sure. Like, again, with the whole chemistry thing between them, I think they have great chemistry. I'm not sure if they've worked on a movie together or not. Again, tell me down in the comments below if they have, but yeah, I'm surprised if they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't worked on something sooner. But they have really great chemistry on screen, and you can tell with the whole musical elements as well, and them tap dancing and dancing around and whatnot, that they're having a lot of fun doing it. Even if the movie doesn't turn out fantastic, at least they're having fun doing it. And also there was that whole TikTok of Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell saying, "I can be brown, I can be," yeah, everybody saw that. And I'm pretty sure they were wearing the costumes that they were wearing in this movie. So I think that was recorded while they're actually filming the movie, which is kind of fun. If you go back and watch it, you might notice the kind of 1800s clothing that they're wearing, 17 to 1800s. But yeah, let me see here what other notes I have. Oh yeah, it really drags by the ending too. There are about 4 to 5 different endings to this movie, and just as you think it's over, you're just like, oh nope, there's more. But this has to be it. They have to be ending it here. Oh nope, there's more. Okay, but they're just messing around now. They're definitely gonna end it. Oh, okay. There's more. And then by the 5th time or however many times it was, you're just like, God damn it, just end it already. That's how I was. I audibly said, God damn it, just end it already. Jeez. And part of that, I was wondering if it was like a joke. And a lot of the musical elements are supposed to be kind of a joke as well, poking fun at musicals. But sometimes when you're poking fun at something, that message doesn't completely come through when you're just kind of looking on the surface. Like, if you're really looking super deep into it, you might see that they're making fun of it, or like at least kind of just joking around. But I don't know. If you're gonna make fun of something, make it just a little more obvious that you're trying to make fun of it, and not that you're just like actually doing it, I guess. And there's elements in there where I'm just like, yeah, they're just kind of poking fun at the whole musical element with them saying like, oh my god, another one. But like, I've seen other musicals do that before. It doesn't faze me. So yeah, I guess that just made me mad. All right, whatever. But yeah, if not for the 2 main characters in here, the 2 main actors, the 2 leads, this movie would not work as well as it does. You could put 2 other schmucks in there, and maybe it would be the same. Put 2 other really big named actors in there. I'm sure it would have the same level of appeal to it for the most part. But when you put Will Ferrell, who people love, especially when it comes to the movie Elf, and you're talking about a Christmas movie here, and then you put Ryan Reynolds in there as well, America's Sweetheart, I mean, you're bound to get clicks off of that alone. And by the way, Apple TV Plus, and this isn't me promoting them or anything, I'm not sponsored by them. It's only like $4.99 a month, I believe. I think that's how much I paid for it. So yeah, I mean, it's really not bad. But I will say, don't go out of your way to like buy the streaming service to watch this. But if you're gonna get it anyways, watch Ted Lasso as well, because that's a pretty good show. But yeah, I just wanted to say that's pretty much all I have in terms of my notes on this movie. Not a really great movie. There's some elements that I did like in it. There's some elements that made me laugh. But is it a Christmas classic? Not by any means. Is it something I'm gonna watch again? Not by any means. But people might enjoy this one. So I mean, give it a watch if you really want to. And I think there are certain people that are really gonna like this and possibly even watch it every year, but maybe it's just not for me. So, but yeah, I did want to mention, and I'll probably mention this in the next few reviews or so, but I have a new ranking system. Typically, when it comes to movies and TV shows, I rank them by, like 1 out of 10, or, you know, that's usually what I do. But now I have my own ranking system, which I very much like. I just made a few hours ago. I was trying to piece it together and come up with something that felt nice and sounded nice. So starting with the best category here, leave your house immediately. Very rare of me to say that. So if I do use that in a review and I rank a movie with that tier, that means I'm not kidding. So leave your house immediately, go see that. Which, by the way, this is a streaming service film. Damn, it's really windy. But this is a film on a streaming service, so like you can't leave your house. But you know what I mean. It has the same effect. Basically saying buy the streaming service right now so you can watch it. But yeah, tier 1, leave your house immediately. Again, very rare. Probably not going to be used very often. And then weekend plans, which is the next tier down below that, which is go check it out on opening weekend. And then the tier below that is avoid the crowds. Wait a couple weeks to watch the movie, maybe go on a weekday, and who knows, you might just get the theater yourself, which is always a fun experience for me personally. I always love when I find out that, hey, there's nobody else in the theater. I can literally just sit back and enjoy this and not have to worry about anybody else. But yeah, let me see here. Tier below that is rent it, pay to watch it at home. Tier below that is stream it, which, when it comes to movies on streaming services, aren't you like, oh, wouldn't it just automatically go in this tier? Not necessarily. Also, I realized that my other string is not here. Huh. But yeah, when it comes to streaming movies, you're like, it wouldn't just go automatically in that tier. No, because, I'm trying to be fair with it, obviously. But yeah, stream it if you have the streaming service. Consider checking it out, add it to your list. But don't necessarily go out of your way to buy the streaming service that it's on. But yeah, let me see here. Tier below that is last week's leftovers. Might not be horrible, but you might regret it later. Tier below that, throw it in the trash. Those leftovers have turned. And then the last tier below that is throw it in the trash and set it on fire. That is pretty much as bad as it gets. But wait, there's one more tier below that, and that is Chernobyl level disaster. Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by Chernobyl, so I just wanted to include Chernobyl in there somewhere. But yeah, the Chernobyl level disaster is as bad as it gets for a movie. And I wrote here, how did this get made? And if you like this movie, seek medical attention, movie or show, whatever it might be. But yeah, that's my new ranking system. I know that wasn't like the best way of going about it and saying it all, but I'll be mentioning it through the next handful of reviews or so, just so people can get used to that ranking system. But as for this movie right here, it's fitting that I would put this movie and stream it. If you have Apple TV Plus, consider watching it, add it to your list. Does Apple TV Plus give you a list? It probably gives you a list that you can add stuff to, most likely. But yeah, if you have the streaming service, consider checking it out. And if you don't, maybe consider still downloading Apple TV Plus to check out some other shows they have on there and other movies, and maybe watch that while you're on there. You might be able to get a free trial as well. And like I said, it's only like $4.99 per month, so that's not bad at all. But yeah, I'm going to put it and stream it. Nothing you really have to rush to watch or anything like that. Nothing you have to watch in the first weekend. If you want to watch it closer to Christmas, great idea. Do it. Go ahead. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you in this video. And as for the next one, I'm not really sure what my review will be for, but hey, we shall see. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I will see you in the next one.